Hello folks, hope you're doing well. Okay, going from the last one, talking about the fact of not being... Well, being a leader means you're going to focus on leading, not on friendship. Yeah. Well, it's like if you go into a business and it's a failed business and your job is to turn that business around. Part of doing that is to focus on what made that business fail. And how can we learn from that? Yeah, the things that made it fail, we've got to deal with those things and we've got to learn from it. If you have a friendship with those people and that friendship is important to you, there's going to be so much stuff that you will not deal with. Because, as I said, that thing would be offensive to someone. You're directly apportioning blame to a person over a certain failure of the business. And that person is a close friend of yours and you don't really want to do that. So, but if you don't base your job on friendship, but you base it on being guided by God and just leading as He's telling you to lead, then you can do it. Now you can do it. And so, yeah. When I was in that situation in the church, as I said, I was doing videos about not compromising yourself. What's that about? That's about if you're in a group of people who think in a different way, it's highly tempting to think in that way. But as soon as you start doing that, now you're no longer being you, and if you start doing that, actually, you're in a situation where God can't use you now. Because you become a people pleaser, not a God pleaser. You transfer to pleasing God to pleasing people. And once you do that, then that's it. Until you come back to pleasing God, and your focus being that, that's it. Your business with God is over and done with for now. That's the reality. It really is. If you're focused on pleasing people, then you're of no use to God at all. Absolutely none. And so, yeah. But as I say, the job with regards to either those churches, Albion Community Church or the River Church, turning those churches around, the job was huge, would be huge. Because the leadership was dodgy, to say the least, in both churches. There are people who are there in leadership who are in leadership just because they've been there for a long time, not because spiritually they were leading. They weren't leading in any area of ministry. So if they're not leading in any area of ministry, then they're not a leader. What they are is part of a church committee, which is a worldly thing rather than a godly thing. And so, got to get rid of that to start with. And then you've got the issue of there's a lot of chaff sown in amongst the wheat. And so you've got to focus your attention on the wheat, building the wheat up. Don't worry about the chaff. Leave that to God. But you're going to have your numbers dwindle over time. And it's quite likely that after 3 months of doing things according to God's will, you're going to see the numbers go down from maybe 30 members to 7. And if that happens, don't be afraid. Don't look at that and go, oh my God, I'm going to go back to the way things were before because we lost all these people. This is awful. No, this is good. If the chaff have been got out of the way, then now you're left with the wheat. Now you're in a situation where you can start building. Problem is you can't build when the wheat is being suffocated by the chaff. That's the reality. You can't build while that's the case. And that is the case in church right now. So you don't preach to try and get rid of the chaff, but You do things according to his will and his ways, and the chaff will be offended enough that they will just walk. But they will walk thinking that it's going to make you walk, or thinking that you're going to change direction and welcome them back and beg them to come back, when no, you don't. They're more than welcome to come back, but you leave them in God's hands completely. You're not delighted to see them go, but you're not, horrified to see them go either. It doesn't change your view. Your job is simply to lead as God is wanting you to lead. That's it. And you do that. Yeah. Oh, I would have had no problem with that at all. Yeah. I mean, would there have been moments when I'm like, oh, Father, what the heck is going on? Yeah. Well, wasn't there times when I was saying, Father, how are you going to deal with this? This is huge. But as I say, if you come down to 6 or 7 members, now you're in a situation where you can look at the Word and you can have time with Father, with God, as a group now, because it's a much smaller group, so you can be a lot more intimate in that group. But you can now start speaking about how do we unlock the promises of the Word. How do we unlock that? Because that's all been locked to the church. So let's spend time with God to understand how do we unlock that. How is it locked in the first place, and what do we do to unlock it? Once you do that, you start having God working in your church. And when that's the case, people start coming in. So, don't worry about bums on seats, because you'll have that. But it's important to start with the right people and to build, continuing with the right people. So what you have in the end is of God. Otherwise, what's the point? So, the job looked difficult. But while I was in the situation of the river, while I was in the situation of the Pentecostal church, I was fully, okay, Father, if this is what you want, if you want me to do this, I'll do it. Yeah. I have no problem at all. Yeah. But now, as I say, no. What they wanted is now what they get. So, yeah. Well, I've done enough videos. I know that people from the church were looking at my videos, so I've done enough videos talking about, what was going on, and talking about the fact that people banning people from the church, and that shouldn't be the case, and people should care about that. They should be wanting to help people rather than just going and saying, but you're sagging off the church. Oh, you're sagging off the people in the church. We don't want you here now because of that. Well, that's not biblical. That's not God's position, is it? For God so loved the world, he gave his own begotten Son. But you, as a church, you see yourself as him, so love the world that you only love people who are exactly like you. Yeah. I've done enough of those, and they didn't want to take notice, so there you go. Okay. I tried to fight against what they were doing, but after a while you say, okay, you're welcome. You're welcome to what you want. You want that? You're welcome. Okay. Yeah. That's it when it comes down to it. Yeah. Yeah. It's not my problem, is it? Obviously. God doesn't want me to be involved in turning those churches around, so cool, they're not my problem. I didn't know about the River Church before I went there. And now I would go back to the position of not knowing about it. I didn't care about the Pentecostal church. I walked past that church many, many times. And I would just keep doing that. I won't care about it now. Well, that's the point. They don't want me to care about them, so cool. Okay, I won't. But in the end, I wasn't ready. No. I'll put it this way, my relationship with God, is it strong enough for me to be able to walk in that at this moment in time? No. No. Well, as I said recently, things have gone pretty quiet recently. As in what God is saying right now. He's wanting people to wait for now. So therefore, okay. Whether that's the reason or whether there's other things going on, but certainly right now I wasn't being led. I didn't feel I was being led to that degree. I think before taking on anything like that, I would want to have a bit more evidence myself of that. Yeah. And that wasn't to be at that point in time. So there you go. So there you go. You take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon. Have a good one. Be blessed and be a blessing. Bye-bye.